So, servus, welcome back to the next weekly recap video. This will be a very long one again, as always, because I will show everything. So, for the method, we are using everything, this one here. We are starting with the BLNK, then comes the higher low. Most of the time, the pullback of the higher low is a 0.5. Then you're doing your A peak, same again, 0.5 pullback or breakout retest. Then you go to your B, 0.5 pullback, then to your all-time high. Then you're making your lower high. After the lower high, you have to fall under the low where the lower high started. Then you come up to your M again. You can make a line between the B bottom and the M line, and normally you jump on it, fall under it, reject it, till you reject the last time, then you fall to your T, and then to your BYND, and then everything repeats. And all this space between A and B and C, you can do micro tracking with small a, small b, small c. Yeah, and your next A and your next B is always around your T line and around your M line. Doesn't have to be on the point, but a little bit high, a little bit low. Okay, so for this, let's start with SPY. For the overview, we take the big one. Here, the big one. For the overview, since IPO till 2009, this was just your higher low. From 2009 till 2020, this was just your big A. And from 2020 to 2025 was just your B. And right now, we would look for our C peak for the bullish version or for the bearish version on October, which was it? On October here, on October 29, this was already a peak for the bearish version. And last Friday was already a lower high. Or last Wednesday was already a lower high. This would mean for the next, I would say, 3 to 5 years, we will do this. And your target for the not so bearish one would be something in between this. I would look for something around 220. So this is the big tracking. Now we look for this middle one. And the middle one is just this here. I mean, the middle one, you could track everything from IPO, but it doesn't mean anything to us right now. We're only looking for the middle one since, where is it? Since October 2022. Because since then, no, not 2022, we are looking for the middle tracking for April 2025. So in April 2025, we made our perfect BLNK. This little thing here, or little, it was a few weeks. This was our higher low. From this point to August 2025, this was our middle A. From August 2025 to October 10, where we had this 1 day candle here, this was just our middle B. Right now, we are going to our middle C. If the middle C is already our big C. We will see. So for what we have done the last 2 weeks. First of all, I think on Friday I said this, we were here, I think, yeah, exactly here. I had the old that we still come down here, but my main tracking was that this was already a higher low. And for this, the bullish version was wrong. Simple as that. There is no if, this, then that. I had the alt, but I was mainly pointing the bullish version. So it's always the human with the error. But right now, we did this on Friday. It is still a perfect bounce with just one change. Because from October 10, 2025, this was our higher low for this A. From October 16 to November 7, this is our, it's not middle A, I would call it small a, and all these little ones are the tiny A's. And from November 7th till last Friday, this was just the higher low from this A. So if finished, right now we are going into B. And for the tiny tracking, this is perfectly finished. There is a bearish alternative, but for the bullish one, this is finished. Always, again, 3 ways. The bullish, the bullish, bearish, and the bearish one. The bullish, somewhere in here is already a higher low. This on Friday was already your A. And for the absolute bullish one, I would say, is that possible? Let's see. Something like this is Monday, Tuesday, and this would be Friday, Wednesday. So something around 688, 698 to 700 or above. I would expect that this is our Wednesday, or maybe Thursday. But I would lean more to Wednesday. And this is then our small b. This whole thing here. This would be our small b. And then Thursday, Friday, we're doing the 0.5 pullback again, and that would mean if we go to 698, your 0.5 pullback would be exactly at 680. This, if we get this peak on Wednesday, then this is our Friday target. And then high low, and then let's see where our C is. That's the bullish version. The bullish bearish version is that this is higher low, but not finished. That would mean on Monday, if it's pre-market or during the day, doesn't really matter, but you still would have come down to 669. So somewhere on Monday, you have to come down to this line, and then you start the push to your tiny B. The absolute bearish version, as I said, is just that we already got our top. This was already the top of the market, the big C. This was already a lower high or a lower peak, and from now on it goes down. For confirmation levels, for the bullish version, everything over this top here, everything over 675.61. And the higher low is already finished. For the bearish version, a bullish bearish version, everything under 671. And we still have to do the higher low, the 669. And for the absolutely over version, if we fall under 663 again, then the top was in. This here. You could also compare this with crypto, because the thing is, what will Bitcoin do, for example? So in my theory, this was working right now pretty perfect. We had our lower high, midpoint, T. The T already made its lower low. My only problem with this is my V under A, where T always goes, is exactly at 93K. You should go down here to V under A. And in this case, there is no, okay, the 0.5 line was here, and we could bounce a little bit over it. A V under A is a V under A. Simply as that. But the thing is, we could easily do that tomorrow. Sunday is always the day for crypto. So, yeah. How much percentage is this? This is only 2%. You could do this easily tomorrow morning, and in the evening you do your higher low and you go, whoa. No, I really want my V under A. I can't say that this is already our bounce. Let's see what's happening. But the thing is, this should be finished then. So if we bounce here, okay. If we still have to go down here, I could imagine if we're doing that on Monday, this would be the run to 669 for SPY. And then both are bouncing. If you are here already bouncing, okay, it's crypto. Then everything over, yeah, everything over 107. And this pullback is gone. And then the same as the overall market, you're looking for your blow off top. Whoop. And the same bearish version. If this was already the top, then this was already the top. I mean, normally Bitcoin should be in its B right now, same as SPY, and you should still get a blow off top. But you can easily say that this is your A, this is your B, and this is your C. And then your next target for Bitcoin is 15K. The same like SPY 200. But it will be the same. Lower high, midpoint, T, V under A, go. But the same as a SPY, this will take years. That's not in a 1 week it's over. So if as always, if anybody is saying we go down to, what was the main target, 590, so perfect market crash, but in December we get the blow off top, no, simply just no. Here is the bounce. If this is the bounce, we get our blow off top. If this is just lower high, we get our crash. And a long one. Okay. So this was SPY. Next one is open. Here is open. Also bullish and bearish version, but just in one chart because it's only a tiny difference. So for open, this whole thing till June 2025, this was just one fractal. And we would be already in the second one. And already in the middle of the second one for the bullish tracking. For the bullish tracking, that would mean that we already finished the pullback of B. My target was 425. We came slightly closer, but the reason, if it would have come down here and then bounced, I would be 99% for the bullish version. I wouldn't have a bearish one. My problem is we went close, but in my opinion, not close enough. But for the bullish version, this was your B peak. The same like the little C peak. Low high, midpoint T. You fell off. This was your V. Somewhere in here is already your high low. And this breakout was already your A peak. And you already did your A pullback with a perfect breakout retest. I mean, yeah, you came a little bit under it, but doesn't matter. You bounced off it and you're over it. The next thing you're doing is C. The only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? And then after you got your C, you will do your BYND. So your pullback target after your C is at 166. And then the same. Lower peak, midpoint, T, BYND, higher low. And then we look what we are doing then. For the bearish version. And to be fair, this is not something where I would say, yeah, okay, it could take 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. For the bullish version, this is finished. So will be interesting next week. For the bearish version, for confirmation levels, everything over 966, our endpoint, and the bearish version is that, because then we are too high. For the bearish version, this would still be your T. It looks stupid, but you're still under your M. And you made a lower bottom to your M. So it would still work as long as you're not touching or breaking 966. But for this would mean we really have to go to our 0.5, to 429 again. Higher low and then. And for this, I mean, T normally is also not slow. It is normally not slow, so this should also be quite quick. But yeah, let's see. I would say 70-30 because we are really high right now. It will work with this ST, but I would look more for the bullish version. Okay. Okay. Next one. Beyond. So only one chart, the bullish chart, because the bearish chart means this is dead. For the bullish chart. Also, we finished the first fractal, and we would already be at the beginning of the second one, because we already did A, and we are right now at the A pullback. For what we have done last week, it's quite interesting. So here, you had your BLNK, your high low, and then tiny tracking. Here's your little A. I think I have to go on the 1 hour. Yeah. You have here your little A. Here's your A bottom, your little one. That's an important one. I will show that later. Here's your B. Here's your little C, which is also your A. Then lower high, midpoint, T. So, thing is this. Here is your V under A. This line here. We came absolutely close to it, but we didn't hit it. Same problem like open. The only thing is, open was bouncing on the 0.5. On the 0.5 you can be higher. On the V under A, same as Bitcoin, you want to go lower. Even if it's only 1 cent, there is no touching double bottom or something. You want to be, V under A is always under. So I would still expect at least 87 cents for the V under A. At least, then high low, and then you're ready. And because of our next price target, because this was our A peak, our next price target is 43. Because here's our M line, this would be our B. So, if you look at the 1 hour, on regular hours, you will see you have a gap here. Exactly under the V under A. So I would expect, because if we start this bullish run, we won't see this level here for quite a long time, even if we see it ever again. So I would say we will fill this gap. And this gap goes from 88 to 66 cents. I think we will fill this gap. This will be our V under A here. Then higher low. And then your next target is 245 and 373 for B. But I would expect something similar to this for your B run. So I don't think you really see these levels. What I don't want to break is anything under 59 cents, because then bearish version. So for confirmation levels. Okay. So if we are really doing something absolutely stupid, and it would be stupid not even to come here, but okay. For confirmation levels to the upside, everything over 236, and it doesn't matter what I wanted down here, everything over 236, and our next target is 43. Anything under 88 cents, and you could bounce quite every day. Just saying. And normally you are not going from the V, same like here. You're doing your V and A, then higher low, and then you go. But this higher low, how long did it take? This higher low took, yeah, 1 day. Yeah. So let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're doing this. Thursday, we are doing this. It's still not confirmed, because you would still need this, but in that case, we are coming into already dangerous territory that you're finished. Just saying. Okay. This was quite everything. Yeah. And one thing, just for the future, wherever our bottom is, let's say we bounce exactly here at 66 and go to our B. Where's my B? Where's my B? My B is gone. Yeah. And we bounce. So if 66 was our bounce level, and let's say 44 is our B peak. So let's say we are doing really this. However this is looking like. And we are already curving here. Then you just take the 0.5 and I have way too many lines here. Where's my 0.5 here? 1 second. Oh, let's do this again. So, put them here. Yeah. Yeah. So here is your 0.5. This would be your pullback target then. I mean, of course, you're doing then again this lower peak, midpoint T, and here's your 0.5. So in this case, 522 from 43 would be a pullback target. And then you're going to a C. And then it's only the question, are you breaking all-time highs or not? And I can guarantee you, first of all, if you're dropping down here, you will hear the news. It's over. Retail loss, blah, 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 blah. Then we bounce. Then you will get news. Retail is buying this up. Hedge funds liquidated, short squeeze, blah, 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 blah. And here we'll also hear, oh, it's over again. Oh no, oh no, no. The same bullshit, always. But all in all, if this is not a pump and dump and you're not breaking 59 cents, this is the future. Okay. So, next one is Unity. Only because someone said that on November 11, GameStop will absolutely squeeze MIF Unity. That's why I looked at Unity. So this is and I have to say this is the bullish chart. I don't have a bearish version because right now it just looks good. But for some people, this will be bearish. So you're coming from your C. Then you come to your midpoint. Then you fall. This is your T point. This is already your V. You already did your high low. And you already did your A peak. You broke out of the trend line. You're absolutely perfect near the T line. And right now you're in the A pullback. Your B target, which makes this interesting, would be around 108. But because this is this is very easy. That's even, you could say, picture perfect for tracking. And not every tracking is that easy. You did your A peak, which is your small C peak. This drop here was your lower high because you rejected perfectly this trend line here. This one here. And right now, you're falling. And in my opinion, wait a second here. So, you have now to go under $33. It can also only be 1 cent or $1, doesn't matter. But it has to be lower than this. Then you come up again. Then you will check this trend line again. This will be your M peak. Then you have to go lower than whatever this bottom is here. Again. Then you come again up to a trend line. This would be a T. Then you have to go under this again. And you have 2 points. The first one, you bounce on the 0.5. And this 0.5, because it's A, is from the low to the peak. It's even a little bit lower. So from this to this. Yeah, it's lower. Yeah, so let's make a line for this. So this is your fib point. Yeah. So 24.26. This is your next target for V and not V and A, but for the V and the bounce. Then you do high low, and then you go. Just saying, you could also, for the quick way, just go under here. Good. Then on the lower time frames, your M and your T is somewhere in this candle. Then you have to look for the M and T in the on the 5 minute. It's still possible. And it doesn't have to take that long. I'm just drawing that so you see the landmarks. If this point here is not holding, then your most likely target is the V under A from the small tracking, which is at 22.23. Then you go here. Let's make a line here too. And here you get your perfect V and A high low. Then you go. For confirmation levels, I don't see a bounce here. I just don't. But okay. Let's say here at 33, this is our B line, but also our reversal zone already. And if we do anything stupid, just in case, everything over 47. And this is our bull line. Because then we are over the top of A, and our next target only can be our B. Yeah. And for absolutely bearish catastrophic levels, I don't have right now. So, yeah. Okay, next one. Neo. Bullish and bearish, but to say that clearly, in my opinion, both are bullish. So, here the bull version, only thing, okay, doesn't matter. Here the bull version. And perfect example that the IPO of a stock doesn't have to start with V under A or doesn't have to start with a C. It can also start with an endpoint, for example. So why would you think that this is your endpoint? Just because it's perfectly lining up with your next B point. That's why this is really most likely your M. And this is just hidden data. And all in all, this little thing here with the hidden data is your big A. And we did already our big B, and for bullish and bearish, we would be in the run to big C. Why isn't this here A and this higher low, for example? Just because we didn't do a V under A here. And only B is allowed to not doing a V under A. So if this did a higher low, so this is B. So what have we done? So first of all, we already did our A peak. After the A pullback, doesn't matter if bullish or bearish, your B peak would be at 16. And after the B pullback, C is higher than our all-time highs, or we're rejecting it here and death spiral begins. But it should be at least something around 60. So for the close-up tracking, I don't really have one. we broke through this level here. And in my opinion, for me, this bullish version right now, because I can't draw it already. For me, this version is gone. It's just gone. We broke levels where I can't say this is still right. But for here, for the bearish version, which isn't bearish, it's absolutely the same. B stays the same, A stays the same. The only thing which is different is our A pullback isn't finished. So let's put this here away, just to draw it again. So for an A pullback, you have two levels. The first one is a 0.5 from the low to the peak. This is exactly here, 490. Or you're doing the perfect BYND, which is at 4.38, which is also perfect breakout retest to this 4-year-long trend line. So last week Friday, or the last 2 weeks, here's your A peak, little C peak. You already did your lower peak. You went lower than this one, bounced, came up again. This was your midpoint. Then last week, you fell under this bottom here. So the pullback of M could be finished. So the next thing you would do is you're coming up again. You reject this trend line again. This would be a T point, your last time to sell. And then your next two targets are 490, bounce higher low and go, or V under A. Here, breakout retest. V under A, higher low, and then you go. And the thing with this is that if you look, what is this? This is just a head and shoulders, a perfect one. And the thing is, not even that. Remember this picture here. We already did that in 2020. 1-to-1. You did your V&A, high low, breakout. It was also our A peak. We also did a head and shoulders. We fell down quite quickly. I mean, you see that this here is your lower high. This here would be your M, and this here would be your T. So this was quick. But you still did a V&A here. Breakout retest, and then you run. So for this case right now, it's really even possible. I mean, we are a little bit slower, but it's possible that you don't come up again here, and we are just doing the V&A. Perfect breakthrough retest, and that would be quick. I mean, in 2020, this took us how long? So we would be right here right now. And this took us 2 weeks. We are a little bit slower right now, so let's say 3 weeks. Or on the safe place, 4 weeks for the button, so this would be, yeah, December for the button. Then you can play the upside. Looking fantastic. And again, your next target after you got your pullback is 16, and then something up here. Looks perfect. So, 2 ways to play this. You see here, earnings is on Tuesday 25. That's When is this? In 2 weeks. In my opinion, if you're already here at BYND before earnings, or maybe already did your higher low, this could be good news here or whatever. Maybe they even miss, because if you see it here, they missed. Okay, they did the higher low then. This is a perfect example for this. Add earnings and run. But what did we do in 2020? Where's the earnings? Yeah, perfect example. Missed earnings, run. So if we are on before Tuesday 25, before earnings, already down here, I would say whatever they are saying. This is the signal for the start. If you are still doing, for example, like this before earnings, then the earnings will be the catalyst to get to your BYND. Just a theory. Let's see. Okay, next one. Plug. Bullish and bearish. So first the bullish one. So here the full chart for the bullish one. Here again, hidden data, because here the IPO started from the B bottom, kinda, and this was your C. So B, A, high, low, B. So you come down to your low, high, perfect, lower, low, M, perfect, lower, low, T, perfect, V, perfect, high, low. So since the all-time low in 2013 till May 2012, no, May 2025, this was just your higher low. And we would be right now in our A. And this here was our big C. Why isn't this A and this B? Just because, again, this is a higher low. Perfect. Oh, no, wait. No, not like this. Why is not this here A and this here B? Just because we are lower than this one here. And the B bottom is not lower than A. Same like, why is this not higher low and this A? Same, because A bottom is not lower than higher low. So this whole thing is our higher low, and we would be in our A right now. So for our micro tracking, we already did our A peak. It's under the maybe A peak, because we are still under the trend line. So for the bullish tracking, and there's a bearish one too. So for the bullish tracking, this was your A. It has to be, because for the bullish tracking, you are here V under A from this little one. And where's our 0.5? And the 0.5 is already too high. 0.5 for A. Yeah, it's still there. Okay. So for the bullish tracking, you have to bounce here. Pretty simple. From Monday on, you should do your higher low, and then you go. Everything over 470, and there is no alternative anymore. Your next target is 31. Or if you're still dropping, your last chance is the 0.5 at 189. So this here. But this is only working if this was already your A peak. Otherwise, this line isn't existing. So if you're falling under it, this is your last chance. Higher low, and then you go. If you go under 136, then the bullish version for me is dead. and the bearish one will overtake, nothing would really change except one important thing. You would still have this higher low and your A, but the higher low wouldn't be finished yet. And the last peak we did was our T. And we would still have to come lower than 70 cents, but higher than the all-time low. But I mean, that doesn't matter then anymore. But somewhere in here, you're doing your BND, high, low, and then you go. But in my opinion, this could take time then. We would look at something like this here. And we would be something around here. And this took already 2 years. So let's see. For this one, I would just wait. Let's see what we're doing next week. If we're bouncing and getting a higher low, perfect. If we go over $3, okay. If we're still falling, I would wait. Because if we bounce here, also okay, but if we're breaking this, hands off. Then this will take just maybe 1 or 2 years. So let's wait. Okay, Fury Cell. Also only one chart, because I simply don't have an alternative right now. So here the bullish version for Fury Cell. Thing is, you're coming from your top, perfect lower peak, perfect midpoint. This whole thing here is just your T, and here is your V. So if you're taking the rules 1-to-1, this here would be your A at 880, and this would be your B. But as always, I can tell you, you won't see a share at $19,000. No. You can still come up here, but if you come up here, you will see a forward split before that. Because splits aren't changing the fractal, but the numbers here. So yeah, don't wait to sell a share for 19K because it won't happen. For a listed price targets without a split, I show that later for A, but your B would be around 168, and your C would be somewhere in here. You would reject between 400 and 700, and the death spiral would continue, but who cares then? So what we have done. So for this perfect example, this is, I would even say 99% sure our A peak. This one. We already broke out of the trend line. We are at the T line. So this here is our A peak. And we would right now be in the A pullback. So, and it's close. It's even closer than Neo, because this was our C peak, our little one, lower high. We fell under the M line. Here are also perfect example. You come to the B M line, you bounce, 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 fall under it, try to get over it, reject, lower low to our endpoint. This is our perfect T. So 2 ways. Because of this is A, big A, we can again take our fib line. We can take our fib line from the low, and already see it. I have to change it a little bit, because I took this one. Here would be our fib line. I did a little mistake. I take the fib from here. I took the tick from here, but the all-time low is here. And it's even more perfect. So on Friday, was it Friday? yeah, on Friday, we perfectly bounced off the fib line. And we're already up here. So this thing could be finished perfectly. The only thing is what we have to do now, high low. We are not allowed to touch 666 again, or break it, of course, but also not touching. No double buttons. And your next target would be 870 and then 923, but that's only micro tracking. If this A pullback is done, your next target for B is 165. If we still touch the 0.5 or break it, your next target is your BYND, which is at 670, which is a perfect breakout retest. Then you're doing high low and then the same. If you break $5, then I have to completely renew it, but I don't see that yet. This thing looks bullish and nearly finished. I mean, you're talking about maybe already finished, or we still have to drop. Okay, it looks much, but for this stock it isn't. Just saying. This right now looks perfect. Let's see what happens in the next week. Next one, Bed Bath & Beyond, bullish and bearish. I already said in the last weeks, I don't see any case for the bullish version anymore, just because we broke levels. But always have an old. Huh? And I found something. Just saying. So for the bullish version, I am still bearish on it, but for the bullish version, here's your C, your lower peak, your midpoint, also perfect with the B line again. Fall down to your T point, fall down to your perfect BND, and our last peak wouldn't be A. We would still wait for our A. It's a kind different than I showed last week, but to make sense of the to be still bullish, this whole thing would just still be our higher low. So for this, we go on the lower time frames. For this whole thing is your higher low. This is your C, your little one. Lower high, midpoint, we would already have done T. And right now, I still think, even for the, if you see it bullish, you have to come down here to V and A, so 565, higher low, and then your next target would be, same as always, $36. No, your next target would be then 15. So you would come up here, 15, breakout retest, B pullback, C. The only thing here is, if you compare it to 2020, you won't see the pullbacks in my opinion. So, to the thing what I found because of this here. So, Bed Bath & Beyond on the 1 hour. So, where is 2020? Here. No. No. Okay. Let's go into 2 hours. I think 2 hours. Yeah, no, perfect. Yeah. So, but this to be still bullish, this would still be our V, the same like in 2020. I mean, okay, in 2020 we made a double bottom here. Here it's a slight, it's higher lows, but okay. But for this, if you compare these two, the important part is this here. You have M or a W here. Also like here, M or W. The shitty part is I will show the bearish version after that and you have the same. But to be bullish, that would mean this here would be this pullback here. I know the BLNK is the 0.5 still working? No. Yeah, way too low for the 0.5. Yeah. But still, if you let's say if you bounce between 560 and 530, then you are here. March 2020. And this is your next run. Okay. That's for the bullish version. I'm still leaning to the bearish one. And for the bearish one, that would mean that our last peak wasn't A or higher low, it was T. And for this, you still have to come under 355. So you have to, and then it's only the question, are you doing a higher low to 2020 or a lower low? And what I said, Myth, the shitty part is that I can show you the same exact thing for the bearish version. It's just you come from your M, you come from your M, you come up again, You're doing an M pattern or a W pattern. Here the same. On the lower time frame, you see better. You're doing an M or a W pattern. The higher side is higher. The right side is higher. And then you knife. And then you knife. That's the shitty part because you can show it bullish and bearish right now still. But the thing is, you see here a gap down. If we get, I think in the next 2 weeks, a gap down, that would be confirmation for you that we still have to do the V. So I lean way more to the bearish version, but let's see. And bear version is a harsh word because this here is the perfect entry. If you're going down here, for C3I, it's exactly the same. If you go in here, you can make way more profit to the upside than if you would bounce here, because then everything is dead. The news will be it's over, but that would be the perfect entry. So next one, BLNK. Also only one chart. So for BLNK, you would be already in the third fractal because this was your first one. This was your second one. And right now you would be in your third one. So what did we do? So we came from our C, perfect lower high, perfect M. Again, with the perfect trend line, with all the touches from your B. You bounced it in, bounce, you fell under it, then you rejected, then you fell. Then you made a lower low to this low, this was your perfect T. And then you did your perfect V and A. So we already broke out of the trend line. So this is a little bit under your T line, but perfect A. And right now you are in the A pullback. So let's look at the A pullback. Quite the same like FCEL, or absolutely the same like FCEL. So the 0.5 is from your absolute low to your A, and on November 7, we knifed to it and immediately bounced off it. So for the bullish version, this was your V, and right now you're doing high-low. If this is holding, then we are finished. If you touch or break 132, same as usual, you still have to do your V&A at $1, which would also be perfect breakout retest. Then you do your higher low here, and your next target is $2 for A and $2.30 for B. But the same here. If we compare this to 2020, we would be right here right now, most likely. We are slower, but still, our next move would be this. So B, which is at 26, should be quite quick after we finish this. So yeah, looks good. So for confirmation levels, in my opinion, because here we can do it, everything over 170, and the pullback is finished. Everything touchy or breaking of 132, and we still have to go to $1. Pretty simple for this one. Okay. Next one is C3I. Bullish and bearish, but for C3I, the bullish version is already dead because it's the same. We already broke it. So here the bearish version, which is not really bearish, but it's the only one. So, okay, let's not call it bear version. This is the main version right now. Just because we already did our low. So, just for the overview, we would be in our second fractal. For this, yeah, you made your C, lower high, MTB. First one is finished. Second one was just A, massive B, and this is your C. And it's higher than your B. Tiny, but higher. And since then, we are in the C pullback. Lower high, midpoint T. And I said that the last 2 weeks that I am bearish and will make a new low. The only question right now is this the low? So are we doing a higher low to 2022, or do we need a lower low? So, yeah, for this, we have no lines anymore. We are already V and A. 0.5s are already gone. So we have to wait now wherever, the same as bull, I will show later. We just have to wait to find our V. Confirmation is whenever we're doing a high low and then going over the higher low. That is confirmation. But to say that, yeah, still everything over 70.47 is the bull line. Then your next target for A would be 30, and for B would be 36. But in my opinion, right now we could already change this and would say this is our T. So your next, because normally your M and your T are not that close. So your A would be at 20, and it would also make sense. You're doing your V, high, low, breakout, doing your A peak, then breakout retest, B pullback, and then the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? Yeah. Nothing else to say. We can't compare. We could compare it. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Why I was so bearish in the last weeks? Just because fractals are repeating. And the thing is, no, that's why this was C. This was A. Yeah, sorry. Because here you have a T, the same as here. You fell down from your M, you fell down from your M. You're doing the perfect uptrending channel. You're doing the perfect uptrending channel. You're ending in your T. You're ending in your T. You knife down. You knife down. You make a lower low. Lower low. Then you're doing just chip chop. Chip chop. And then you fell to your last V. Here. And the thing is, here's a gap. Here. So I would still imagine we're getting a little gap down here. And then we should get our V. So wait for the little gap for confirmation or for the higher low. But this thing also looks quite finished. Just a little bit more. Okay, next one. Our stupid 100% SAVA risk play. So, for the overview, why I'm showing this. Because for the chance. If you look at this company all the time, you have these gap downs, then nothing, and then with a few candles you gap fill. You gap down, few candle, sideways trading nothing, and then few candles gap fill. You gap down, bullshit, gap fill, gap down, bullshit, gap fill, all the time. And you can look at this yourself. These gap fills, always starting Friday pre-market, Friday after hours, Monday pre-market, always, since IPO. So what do we have here? We have here our V, high low, our big A with the A pullback, our run to B with the B pullback, C, lower high, midpoint, T, and then the gap down. 2 for the bullish variant, to our V. And for the bullish variant, we still have to finish this higher low. And for the bullish variant, wherever this little pullback here is finished, you have Friday pre-market, Friday after hours, or Monday, which is in 2 days again, the chance to do this gap here. And the gap is going from 5 to 25. So yeah. But this is 100% risk play, just saying. So for this, what have we done? For the tiny tracking, this was our high low. This here is our A. This is our B. And this is our C. And for the pullback tracking, this is our lower high. This is our M. And the thing is, I had till last Friday was our T this year. But we already broke under it. So this is our T now. So because this is higher low, as we track it for the bullish tracking, your next line for bounce, in my opinion, is at 240. And you also have one last gap to fill here. Same like, what was it? Beyond. Same like beyond. So I think, how much is this? Yeah. You would come down here. This is your V&A, not V&A, but your 0.5. higher low, and here you go. If you break this 0.5, your really, really last chance is at $2 for your BYND. So this here. And then you go. If you break 175, then the bear version comes. And the same thing, I will show that in a second, but the same thing is, if you suddenly, somewhere in this and this, suddenly get a strong move to $6 or $5, same thing. If you're rejecting in this range here, then also the bearish version will take place. Just because then we would do this here. We would already be in this candle. So if you're still falling and not bouncing, you're already in this downtrend here. If we suddenly gapping up to 5, 6, we are right here. We would reject here still, because if you look at the daily, so here, the gap is starting here, and we still were under it. Just a little bit, but still under here. But if you compare to this candle is over it. So if you suddenly see a run to $6 or $5, we are then exactly here. And that would mean for this year, the gap fill is gone, because then you do a new low. This here would be the price action for the next 2, 3, 4 months. And the next chance for the gap fill is, I would say, February, March, April, something like that. Because I really confident that we're still doing it. It's just a question this year or next year. Yeah. So for levels, yeah. For levels, anything under this bearish. If we suddenly get a bounce for whatever reason, anything over 329, and we are bullish. Let's see. Okay. Next one is GNS. And in my opinion, this thing is absolutely done. So we only have the bull version. And the news is also perfect, but okay, later. So the thing is, we're coming from our C. This is our lower high. Then this is our M. I also could see that this is our M. Then B would be at 84 and not 6. But as I'm always saying, doesn't matter, because GNS is always doing its V, higher, low A, and then run. V, higher, low A, run. V, higher, low A. Also, I wouldn't expect something like this. If this thing is finished, you see this. Okay. So, what did we do? Because the thing is this. We already did our A peak. Perfect. We are in the A pullback. Also perfect. And for the bullish variant, this here was already your breakout and your little A and the A pullback. And I showed on Thursday, you can rewatch the video if you want, that from here to here, because this is our little A, so we're taking the 0.5 from the V to the peak of A, is a perfect 0.5 pullback and bounce. So, what did we do Friday after? And now you could say, okay, but this could still come down. Yeah, If we would have rejected 133, I would agree. The thing is that we broke M and T, is that this thing is ready. A pullback is finished. Our next target should be 7. And if it does what it always does in the past, then this here is our price target. And of course, you know, first day I'm showing this. So I showed this here. But I could even, 1 second, just for fun. For the absolute bullish version, which is really bullish. Okay. So for the absolute bullish version, this was your V. Somewhere in here is your higher low. Your this peak here was your little a. And if this was little a, you take from the bottom to the top a 0.5 and look where we bounced today. Perfectly. If this is holding, we are finished. Just saying. Then we are finished. Our next target to break would be 92 cents, but then it's bullish. Your next target is at least $7. Yeah. And this was Thursday. And of course, on Friday, GNS is halted. And of course, the news come, GNS is suing Citadel, BlackRock, LSE, Virtu because of naked shorting, and then after hours it rips. Of course. So I'm working for BlackRock now. This thing looks finished. Will be a really interesting Monday, in my opinion. Okay, next one, FFAI, and only one version because the alternative is the same like BYND. It's that. So for the full version, you come from your C, lower high, midpoint T, and then your V. Here the same like, what was it? FCEL, I think. For price target for if you take the rules 1-to-1, the T is your A at 153, and your B would be at $5,000. And the same, you can come up here, but before you do that, you're doing a forward split. You won't see these numbers here. So if you're not doing a forward split, your realistic price targets are for A 5, for B 11, and for C something in this range here. So for what we have done, we still are doing our higher low and the pullback of our higher low. And for the little tiny tracking, this is your C. Somewhere in here, here is your let's see. Do you see that on the 1 hour better? Yeah. Your lower high would be this. Then you're doing your M peak and then your T peak. And right now you're in the last runs of your T pullback. Here's already your V under A, so we're already under it. So we broke it on Friday. Yeah, maybe this is already a high low. Yeah. Thing is, wait for the B. Wait that the higher low is. This could already be it. For this again, you're not allowed to break or touch $1. So the last time, yeah, you will see when the higher low is finished. But the same like GNS, the same like BYND. I don't think we will see this because it never done it in the past. We will see just this. Not this. we will just see this. Same here, same here, same here, same here. Yeah. The only thing which you're not allowed to do is you're not allowed to break this no-no line. So 87 cents. Because then, like BYND, this is done. But it still looks good if higher low is holding perfect. And in my opinion, maybe they're doing a forward split. I don't know. If not, you're doing this. You will reject your last peak. And then the death spiral begins again. You're going down, make a lower low. Then maybe you're doing the next one. This would be the next C, which will also be a lower low, and so on and so on and so on. And then it's bought or the list, but the ticker will be gone then. But who cares after this? Okay, last one is bull. The only one I had to do completely new tracking because it's a little stupid Chinese chart. For this we have to wait for the V. On Friday we made a new low. We have no lines down here. No fibs, no V. We already are BLNK, but yeah. So wait for this to do a V. Wait for the confirmation for the higher low, and then the good entry. Everything over 12 is bullish. Your next target for A would be 18, and then B 33, and then breaking out from high or not doesn't matter. And it still has the chance to do the cup and handle. Yeah, let's see. Okay, how long was it? That was really the longest one till now. 1 hour and 22 minutes. Okay, if you have questions, write it in the comments. If you have wishes for other stocks, also write it into the comments. And if you liked it, leave a like. See you next time.